Today, I'm showing you how to make a really easy and quick pizza using puff pastry as the dough, and it makes it really crispy and kind of like thin crust. And I'm doing two versions, a version with red sauce, pepperoni, and veggies, and a version with white sauce, mushrooms, some arugula, and a little bonus addition that takes it to the next level, but it's totally up to you. It's on your table in under 30 minutes, and you won't regret making this one. Now, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Now let's get to it. As I mentioned, I'm making two different pizzas, so I'm gonna prep the ingredients for both, but you can skip the mushrooms if you're only making this pizza. For the pepperoni and veggie pizza, we need half a cup of green peppers. I'm also grating my low moisture mozzarella by hand. I find you can taste the difference and it definitely melts better, and it only takes a few minutes, so why not? I'm sauteing my veggies on medium heat with a little olive oil. It's important to take some moisture out of the mushrooms and green peppers to avoid a soggy crust. The puff pastry is super thin and will become soggy if you skip this step. This is the brand I use, which I found in the fridge section next to the biscuits, but you can also use a frozen dough, just make sure to thaw it. You want to lightly flour some parchment paper over your baking tray and add your puff pastry dough. Using a knife, create a border around your dough, making sure not to cut through the dough. And using a fork, you're going to poke holes in the interior of the dough. This will allow the steam to escape while baking. Beat some eggs and you're going to egg wash your dough. And I'm pre-baking the crust in my preheated oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for about 10 minutes. This makes sure that your crust gets nice and crispy before we add our toppings. Once you remove it from the oven, poke a few holes just to deflate it a bit, and I like to set up a pizza station and it can become a cute activity for the family. I'm adding a 1/4 cup to a 1/3 cup of pizza sauce. I'm using Rouse, but use whatever sauce you like. Just make sure not to use too much sauce so that your dough doesn't get soggy. I'm then adding in my cheese, making sure to fully cover the dough because I want it to be nice and cheesy. Top it with some fresh oregano, and then I'm using pepperoni, but you can make it your own and add in some prosciutto or cooked sausage, cooked chicken. You can do Kalamata olives. I'm using pre-sliced black olives. You can do green olives. You can do red peppers instead of the green peppers. You can even add in some mushrooms. This recipe is so great just because there are so many different options and you can really make it your own. What's also great is it's super cost effective for a big family. Each dough is like $4. Top it off with some freshly cut basil and pop it back in your oven for 6 to 8 minutes or until the cheese is nice and melted. And voila, just like that, it's done. The easiest pizza you'll ever make. I love to use kitchen shears to cut my pizza, especially a thin crust pizza like this. It keeps everything nice and together, and I've seen them do it in Italy, so it's good enough for me. For our mushroom and arugula pizza, we're going to start by making our white sauce. Turn your heat to medium and melt down your butter. You're then going to add in your crushed garlic and saute for 30 seconds. Add in your flour and cook it down for 2 minutes to remove some of that flour taste. Slowly add in your milk and continue to whisk to avoid clumping. Add in salt and pepper, and I love to add in the garlic and herb Boursin cheese, but I've done cream cheese as well, and that was good. Combine until it's fully incorporated, and then you'll turn off the heat and add in your freshly grated Parmesan. You will have some sauce left over, which is great for pasta, or you can make a nice chicken casserole. Our dough is ready, and we've got our little pizza station going if you want to make it a family affair. Start off with a 1/4 cup of your white sauce, making sure not to add too much sauce to avoid a soggy crust. And for our cheese, I've got my freshly grated mozzarella. And for this one, I'm also adding in some freshly grated fontina cheese. As I said previously, freshly grated cooks better, it melts better, and it really doesn't take that long to do. So why not just do it? Add in the sauteed mushrooms, and if you're just tuning in, I sauteed them in the previous video just to remove some of the liquid. You'll then top with some dry oregano and bake in your preheated oven for 6 to 8 minutes or until the cheese is nice and melted. You can eat it as is, but I highly recommend topping it with some fresh arugula. It helps you get some greens in, and I really love the peppery taste and the contrast with the flavors of this pizza. I like to add a little truffle oil, but totally optional, and I use kitchen shears to cut my pizza because it works best for a thin crust like this. And honestly, it is delicious as is. But guys, to take it to the next level, I'm telling you, this makes it so good, it's ridiculous. I like to top it with some fresh burrata, some freshly chopped basil, and a little balsamic glaze, and it's incredible. I hope you try it. Now let's dig in. I don't know which one I should try first. Maybe the pepperoni. It's still hot. Hopefully I don't burn my mouth. Delicious. The fresh mozzarella, I think, really makes a difference. And I love me some olives. But honestly, my favorite is the one with burrata. I love fontina cheese, and I've got a blend of that in there with the truffle oil and the balsamic. It's so delicious. That is delicious. Again, like I said, you can skip the burrata. You can have it plain just with the mushrooms, but I would definitely do the burrata and the balsamic glaze. Let me know how you like it.